We're on Koh Rong Sanloem and it's absolutely beautiful.
This island is one of those places where time slows down a little. One day easily turns into the next. It's picture perfect and well deserving of some lo-fi music. And you never get over these views. But don't let the sleepy vibes fool you. You'll find plenty of things to keep you occupied on this island as well. We stayed at Saracen Bay, and in this video we're going to show you everything you can do at this beach and on the island of Koh Rong Sanloem.
So here we are, we've just arrived in Koh Rong Sanloem and Deb's just gone back to the room to get her sunglasses before we go exploring because the sand is ridiculously white. First up was a kayak in the bay. With the turquoise water, this was a nice way to kill an hour or so. Kayaks will either be included at your accommodation or cost $5 to $10 depending on how long you rent them for. If you are more enthusiastic, you can definitely explore a bit more. Just make sure to avoid the ferries coming and going at the piers. Unfortunately, we didn't realise ours was filled with water, making it ridiculously heavy and impossible to manoeuvre. So we gave up and went for a walk along the shoreline instead. You'll find plenty of tour options at Saracen Bay, from boat trips to quad bikes, with every accommodation and cafe offering options. In our next video, we'll show you some other activities, including the sunset boat tour we did. If your accommodation doesn't have a pool, consider heading to either Eden or Sarah Resort. I think it's less than $10 for a day pass, or a minimum spend of the same amount at the restaurant. The sleeping puppies out front are free of charge, of course. At night, some of the restaurants will have fire twirling shows. They usually rotate throughout the week, so if you miss one, it'll just be a short walk down the beach to somewhere else the following night. While the shows are for the diners, anyone can view it from the beach.
Okay, let's talk about some logistical things about getting here to Koh Rong. First of all, we got the bus from Phnom Penh with VET or VET bus. It was scheduled to take about 3 hours, but it actually ended up taking about 4. Now, they also own a ferry company called Buva Sea, and we were able to then buy ferry tickets at their office. They could have also taken us to the port if we'd wanted to wait, but we didn't, so we just got a tuk-tuk. Actually, no, we got a taxi. It only cost, I think it was like $2 or $3, just because we wanted to get to the port to just eat and not feel rushed.
The ferry across the island was fine. We were packed in tight, but it wasn't overcrowded, with a seat and a life jacket for each person and plenty of staff monitoring things. Our ferry went to the main island of Koh Rong first, swapping passengers, before going to Eden Pier on Koh Rong Sanloem. We definitely recommend packing light, as your luggage will be passed hand to hand over the water or even just thrown onto the pier.
There's a few ferry companies here. My suggestion would be to contact your accommodation and find out which is the best company, because they will go to different piers. It's about a half-hour walk between the two piers, and obviously if you've got luggage, you really don't want to be doing that. Having said that, there are tractors that go up and down the beach, like this one here. I honestly don't know how much they cost because we haven't used them, but I can't imagine it would be more than a couple of dollars, and it would be well worth it. Regarding costs on the island, we had read that everything was far more expensive, and that's not been the case for us. It definitely is a little bit more, And I'd say food-wise, if you were used to like the cheapest of the cheap in Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, you will find it expensive here. But if you have been going to some of the kind of nicer restaurants to enjoy that food, it's quite comparable. They have really great beach barbecues set up at night, and the plates are usually like $6 to $10. However, they are absolutely huge. So Matt and I have actually been sharing. Sometimes we'll get something else with it, but often, like last night, we had like a steak, and it was more than enough food for the both of us. And that was after being out on an activity for the entire day. There's a great dog here. Hey, buddy.
Just like these doggos, we'd go into the water each afternoon to cool off. The dogs on the island were definitely well taken care of. They were always playing, not aggressive, and we'd often see staff of the hotels putting out food and water for them.
So we haven't really found it super expensive. We did our plankton tour, which was going out at night, swimming with the plankton, the bioluminescent plankton. That was 10 USD each. We could have actually combined it with another boat trip that we did and probably got it a little bit cheaper. But honestly, I'm glad we did it separately because I think we enjoyed it more. Okay, so I actually just stopped filming there because it started raining pretty heavy and this camera is not waterproof. But what I was going to say is it's definitely worth researching where you're going to stay. We're at Eden, which is right by the Eden Pier, which was super convenient, obviously, for the ferry. However, I do think your experience would be very different depending on which side of the island that you're actually staying at. If it were me, I would be staying somewhere between Eden and Wonders Hostel. You've got the most infrastructure there. We're here at the busiest time and it's definitely not crazy busy or noisy. You've got mini marts, you've got restaurants, and you're not having to walk for an exceptionally long time to go anywhere. So that would be my pick. I'm sure some of the other resorts further up the beach are just as nice, but you're a long way from everywhere, and there's a lot of abandoned resorts in between that basically look like rubbish dumps, which is incredibly sad. But for someone on holiday, it wouldn't be the best experience, in my opinion. My thoughts on coming to Koh Rong. Am I glad we came here? Absolutely, 100%. You'll see a lot of titles, clickbait titles, if I dare say, being Koh Rong is the Maldives of Cambodia. And there is some truth to that. However, you have to come at the best time of year, and that's February. Those photos are taken in perfect weather conditions, and you need to be looking at the beach in high tide. The other part of that is you need to choose to stay at the right beach, in the right location. I'm sure this whole island could be absolutely stunning. However, okay, that's better. Like a lot of places in the world, there is a huge rubbish issue. The area that I talked about before is really beautiful and there's a lot of cleanup happening here, but there are plenty of resorts that they've just been shut down. From what I've read, the Cambodian government has forced the locals out and the land was sold to Chinese investors, and that kind of all fell apart during COVID. So it's just kind of, the buildings have been left to rot, the rubbish is piled up, And, you know, you don't want to be paying $100 a night on vacation having that next door to you. And that's what it is. And I think if you're aware of it, if you come in here with the right expectations, it's an amazing holiday. It's relaxing. There's enough things to do that you could go out and do something every day. You could also just sit by the beach and read a book, which we've also done plenty of. And I've really enjoyed my time here. I would 100% come back here if I came back to Cambodia. I'd love to explore some of the other islands a little bit more. In regards to accommodation affordability, you can get everything from, I think they're like $6 or $8 dorms to hundreds of dollars a night. I think we've spent, it was 140 Australian, I'll put what that is in American, in USD below. We've had air conditioning, we have a pool. So it's our 4th day here on Koh Rong Sanloem. The weather is not so great. So we're actually going to spend today just doing a little bit of work, a little bit of housekeeping, but we'll also show you some things that we really like about where we're staying. So first of all, when we came into the room, we had this. This is a pillow menu. Now we have come across this at other hotels, but certainly not in places as remote as this, and also for this price point. So it was really nice not only to be able to actually request more pillows, but also be able to actually request the type. So I love that. The second thing that I really like was the do not disturb, please make up my room sign. I don't know about you, but I've been in so many hotels and it's just that a little bit of cardboard and it always falls off and you're like, are they going to come? Are they going to not? At the entrance of each room, as well as the entrance points of the hotel, you have these taps to basically wash the sand off your feet. And it's made a huge difference in just ensuring that our room is clean. And the last feature of the room that I really like here is that they've given us a ladder to help dry things. Now, usually it does live outside, but we don't have a whole lot of sunshine today, so we've brought it in just to help everything dry with the aircon. It would be nice if there were a few more hooks around the room, but at least we've got this one, so you can put, you know, your wet swimsuits, your towels, and things like that. So something else that I really like about this hotel is that they're trying to cut down on plastic water bottle waste, so they give you these.
While we are budget-conscious travellers, staying at Eden was definitely a treat during our trip and well worth the extra money. The room as a whole and the bathroom had plenty of space and was always kept clean. Breakfast is included and is your typical buffet with both Western and Asian options. Like most hotel buffets, it can get crowded if you are there with other groups. The coffee wasn't amazing, but it was easily remedied further down the beach. You should definitely treat yourself to a coconut iced coffee from Mr. Nice. What you doing? It didn't take long for us to also discover the highlight for most visitors is actually the family of kittens, who have taken up residence on the balconies for their playtime and midday snoozles.
Something else I'll mention here is that everyone's so lovely, whether it's the staff in the hotel, we've had boat drivers, people in the restaurants. You know, of course, like everywhere else, there's a little bit of hustle for people to sell you the tours or things like that, or to come back to the restaurant, but it's by no means extreme, it's very friendly. So it's been a really, really nice trip and I've really loved it and I'd love to come back again.
In our next video, we're going to show you some of the experiences you can have from Saracen Bay. If you want to watch that one as well, or have found this video helpful, please give us a like and subscribe as it really helps our channel grow. Thanks for watching.